This mutation is called Season of Giving, and it is being played on Cradle of Death. We have 3 mutators active. We have Nihilist, we have Gift Exchange, and we have Blizzard. So in case you were wondering why the truck is over here, you can spot that there are a bunch of enemy units on this side. So if you can see the enemy units over here, it means that this is going to be the 3rd side that you will have to deal with throughout the course of this mission. Which means that this side is going to be the 2nd, obviously, but it also means the first attack wave of this mission will be coming up this ramp. So if you do intend on building static defenses, you know now where to put your static defense, and it is just a useful piece of information to have at the start of the game. So that is why that truck navigated over there. So let us talk about the mutators. Blizzard is very, very familiar to a lot of people. One of the things that is probably, I think one of the newer things here is that you'll see that Blizzard now goes over the player bases and over the expansion as well. This is with the introduction of the safety zones, and Blizzards will appear red on the map. I'll try and show that to you a little bit later. Blizzards will appear red on most of the areas of the map, and that is when they deal damage and apply their debuff. But as Blizzard gets closer to the player bases over here, they'll turn white, and that means they no longer deal damage and they no longer apply any debuffs. So this change has been implemented for quite a few patches now, and it's very convenient because it has actually resulted in a thinning out of the blizzards, because there are only a fixed number of blizzards that can appear on the map. So it does make the blizzard spawns a little bit thinner and makes it a little bit easier to handle. It also means that the expansions and the mains are safe regardless of what it is. You can see over here the blizzard is turned white, and these probes now no longer take any damage, and they're no longer debuffed by the blizzard, which is a very nice change for this mutator. The 2 mutators here, these are special holiday mutators, so we have Nihilist and we have Gift Exchange. So Nihilist basically means that whenever a player unit kills an enemy unit, it starts to take additional damage from enemy units. So player units are specifically harmed by this, especially hero units like Zeratul and Zagara. But the reason why Zagara has been picked here is because Zagara has a lot of early game pressure. As you can see, the first gift has spawned, and you really want to try and capture these gifts. This is from the Gift Exchange over here. About the gifts, there are a number of rewards that players can get, and you can see here now that the one Ling over here will be trying to claim this reward. So you need to actually cap each gift whenever it spawns. Now, at certain points in the game, there will be a gift that you will not be able to capture because Amon will just try and steal it. And that means that it is inevitable that Amon will get some of his rewards, and some of the rewards for Amon are really nasty. You can get an additional temporary mutator that will be added for 3 minutes, and you can see like a whole bunch of other gifts that Amon can get. It's available on the Starcraft.com website. You can see all the rewards and the Amon rewards as well. You can see here Zeratul has used his Zariah Legion as well to clear that early attack wave, and now he'll be capping this gift for the players. The other thing to also note is that players receive different rewards. So I'm going to try and toggle between the two so we can see what each player gets, and it'll be a little bit hectic. So Nihilist has been cleared for Zagara. And for Zeratul has gotten the Vespene Rain. This is one of the better rewards because it means that Zagara also gets the Vespene drops. That is a little bit convenient. And now the first expansion area has been cleared out, and the next gift has started to spawn. Again, players will try and capture this thing as quickly as possible. You want to give Amon as few gifts as you can. Amon will steal some of them, but you do not want him getting the extra rewards because some of them are really nasty. He gets like a 50 kill bot, I think is one of them. He gets a bunch of Widow Mines and Banelings, I think, that can end up burrowed all around the map. It's just, in general, not very pleasant. The other thing to also note is as time progresses, there will be a harass wave that will be spawned that will try and cap this gift from Amon's side. You can see over here, this is this harass wave. Now, at the start of the mission, this harass wave has a tech strength level of I think 2-1, but as time progresses, this thing will start getting higher and higher in tech level, higher and higher in strength level, and then it'll eventually be accompanied by hybrids as well. So you can see over here, this is the roaches that have been spawned that have been trying to cap this gift. You see here the Zagara is just trying to deal with this attack wave over here, while Zeratul tries to cap this gift here. But yeah, the harass waves that spawn for these gifts will start getting hybrids, and they're not even the small hybrids, the hybrid destroyers. Those are like I think gift number 5 or 6, but eventually, as you get up to gift number 10, you'll start getting hybrid dominators and stuff. So it just gets very, very nasty. Now, you can see over here, something very interesting happened, is as the blizzard passed through this gift area, this gift actually started getting capped by the blizzard itself, because the blizzard is considered an Amon unit. So it actually can cap the gifts, and it can interrupt your gift capture as well, which does make this mutation a little bit annoying. And you can see here now the blizzards are dealing damage. They are red when they are on the map, and this is where you know that they're going to start dealing damage and applying their debuff. When the blizzard comes up over here near the player bases, they turn white and they don't deal any damage. So that was the one thing I also wanted to show you. But I think that's pretty much it. So we got healing and we got a scout for Zeratul over here, which the scout usually appears somewhere on the map. I don't know where that scout is. Okay, there you go. So there we have Zeratul with a scout unit. This is probably one of the worst rewards that you can get for a hero. But now Amon has stolen that last gift and he's gotten hidden threats. And this is the one I was talking about, where he gets Widow Mines and Borrowed Banelings and all sorts of other nasty stuff here. Zagara is going to try and push through, applying a little bit more pressure to this base because they really do want to try and start clearing this out, because Zagara already has a lot of Nihilist stacks on her, and the second something hits her, she's just going to explode in tiny little bits. So that is one of the reasons why Zagara just wants to push through. Zagara is probably going to end up being lost here, but that is no problem. Just wants to apply a little bit of pressure. You can see these Mutalisks and these Zerglings just dealing so much damage, and now Zagara is dead as a result. And that construct still, unfortunately, has not been gone down, but the Zariah Legion is also there to apply a little bit of pressure. Unfortunately, Zariah Legion combined with these blizzards, not very, very good. Additionally, also Zagara does kind of struggle. So you can see this hybrid over here. This hybrid actually spawned as a result of that gift that had been captured there by Amon. Amon steals, I think, every third gift that spawns on the map, and that is inevitable. There's no way of stopping it. You cannot channel it. It'll just basically tell you, Amon is stealing the gift, what a jerk. And you basically have to eat whatever he gives you. And sometimes it may just be a bunch of Scourge or Banelings, but usually you'll get something very, very nasty, maybe like an traditional Mutator, and this is where things can get really, really bad. So there's a ping over there. I think that gift has been glitched. Unfortunately, there's nothing that can be done here. One of the good things about Zagara over here, and you can see here, okay, so there are also stasis wards that can get dropped. So hidden threats, just plain old nasty, plain old unpleasant. But one of the things, and now we have a bunch of Scourge here. So the Scourge will spawn somewhere where the gift is. So I think the gift was up over there. And now you can see an army of Scourges coming up here for Amon. And it doesn't spawn a small number of Scourge, if you have already noticed. It spawns a large number of Scourge over here. And that is a lot of Scourge. Very nice shot from Zeratul, does end up killing us off. He tries to save his War Presence. Unfortunately, that does not help. And now the Scourge is going to try and target Zagara's base here. Actually, Zeratul has managed to take out a lot of the Scourge here. And Zagara, I believe, has already put into production. Okay, so Zagara hasn't actually been affected very much. Zeratul took a brunt of the shot over here, which is somewhat unfortunate. And now Zeratul has ended up losing his base here to the Roach attack. This is, I don't think this was an attack wave. I believe that this was the escort or the harass wave that had spawned to try and cap that gift. And this is the other thing we also want to note, is that if the gift does get captured and you choose to ignore it, the attack wave will come up to your base over here. You see now this thing has been spawned, and there's the hybrid destroyer that I was talking about earlier. So now the gifts have started to spawn with these hybrids. There's a little bit of a whiff on the Baneling barrage over there from Zagara. You can see now Zagara already has these Nihilist stack, and she is about to explode again in tiny little bits. But there's another Ling here that's going to be burrowed. As soon as you clear the harass wave for this gift, there'll be nothing else that'll spawn to try and cap this gift. So all you have to do is move over, clear the units that have been sent to try and capture that, and that'll basically be it. You can just burrow one Ling over there and they will capture. And now that we are getting close to the gift capping, I'm going to try and switch between the two so you can see what the rewards both players get. We get Vespian Rain for Zagara, and we get healing for Zeratul, which is actually very useful for himself. Unfortunately, these Void Templars are already at full HP, they're not really taking much of damage. Two artifact trucks are now in position, and we are good to go. The Vespian Rain is very useful for commanders that are gas heavy, especially combined with Nihilist. If you're using more or less expendable units, very gas heavy units, you probably do not want to lose them very much, but it's just inevitable with the Nihilist stacks. So having the Vespian Rain kind of counterbalances that and does make it a little bit easier to handle, especially commanders like Swan, where you're using siege tanks and Goliaths, very, very expensive units. So it just helps you replace your army. Zagara is pretty much now getting ready. It's pretty much maxed out in terms of upgrades. They're sitting at level level 2, level 3 upgrades now. All seem to be fine. There is a truck here that unfortunately does get caught in the blizzard, and Zagara is unfortunately trying to move out of the way. These blizzards are very, very difficult for Zagara to handle. Zagara has realized that a lot of the units are trapped in that blizzard, and therefore decides to charge into the attack wave and ends up clearing out that attack wave in the process. Over here, Zeratul has built a bunch of Void Templars. They're dealing with a pure ground composition, which does make these Void Templars very, very effective. And now there are a bunch of Hunter Killers here to just take out some of these Wither Mines. Remember, this Hidden Threats is still there on the map and does make it a little bit difficult. Zeratul is getting trapped over here by one of these blizzards. Does end up clearing out that Hydralisk, and now again he has spotted that Stasis Ward over here, so he has to be a little bit careful to deal with this. In the meanwhile, over here, Zagara has completely deleted that construct. Unfortunately, some of these units are getting caught over here. And now we have Amon's Gift Shrinkwave, because Amon has managed to capture that top reward there. So Shrinkwave, I think, basically makes the first thing that you can see is the units are much smaller than normal. I think it reduces the attack and the HP of the damage output and the HP of allied units by 50% for I think 60 seconds. I think is the time. I'm not really sure. I can't really remember. It's just a very cute animation. You see a bunch of units. They're just really tiny. These overseers, very small overseers over here. And now there's an attack wave, which is somewhat unfortunate because Zagara kind of needs a damage output. But again, Zagara, one of the very strong commanders for dealing with clumps of enemy units, because the Banelings just do an insane amount of damage. And now we have the next truck, or the next harass wave that has spawned on this side to try and harass these trucks, but Zeratul is already in position. You just see the power of these Void Templars, just one blink instantly one-shots a large number of these Zerglings, and now there is a Void Suppression Crystal as well, and Zeratul will try and start pushing up here. Just be a little bit careful, his artifact truck is getting a little bit low, and now he's going to blink through. Drops his Avatar of Essence, instantly devolves all those scary Hydralisks into Queens now. These Queens do not stand a chance against Zeratul's army. He's just going to start pushing through on this side. On here, in the meanwhile, Zagara has cleared out that harass wave that was trying to cap that log. And you can see the blizzard trying to cap this log as well. Bird Zergling on this side, and now that gift will be capped by the players. Let's see what the rewards are that will be coming up over here. Unfortunately, Zeratul here is getting a little bit harassed by some of this construct, but now he has struck in position. And these Void Templars, like I said, the blink just deals so much damage to these units over here. And now this gift will be claimed. So, Zagara gets everything is free for 10 seconds, and Zeratul gets a mule party. So let's talk about the mule party first. So you can see here that Zeratul now has a bunch of mules on his main. I believe it's only the main that is affected, but he gets a bunch of mules here, which improves his economy a little bit. Kind of convenient here because Zeratul does need a few more of these resources. And the commanders have cleared out this third area as well, and they will be basically, yeah, this is done, and now we have the fourth area as well. So Zagara's bonus is a little bit more useful, and I think maybe Zeratul might have benefited from that a lot more, because Zeratul can actually queue up stuff. Everything is free for 10 seconds is exactly what it says on the tin. It basically makes everything free for 10 seconds. One of the strategies you can use, Zagara doesn't really benefit from it because Zagara is already flowing a lot of resources and capped at 100 supply, so there's no real benefits you can have for the extra resources. But what you can do is queue up a large number of structures to be built. And in this case for Zeratul, especially now with the nerfs to the cannons, where the cannons are a lot more expensive, what you can do is just queue up a large number of cannons on rapid fire in construction, and you basically have 50 cannons free in the span over here. Zagara has lost a hatchery over here, but it's not a really big deal. Zagara is already sitting at almost full supply, has a lot of resources available to her, so it's not really much of an issue. But that's one of the strategies you can do, is when you see everything is free, just instantly try and build everything you can. And once everything is free disappears, there's healing and an Archangel now for Zeratul over here. I think where the Archangel is. I think it spawns at the point of a gift. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, when you get everything is free, what you can do is queue up a whole bunch of stuff, and then as soon as the Mutator ends, you can cancel the construction and you'll actually get the resources back, and that's basically free resources for you. So that is something else you can also do if you have nothing that you intend on building. You can see here this Archangel as well is going to be very useful in providing a little bit of tanking and damage output over here. And Zagara just completely deleting everything here in the enemy camp. Zagara doesn't really care. Her army has been trapped in that blizzard, so just chooses to charge the army in and get some value out of it to make sure that you're playing as efficiently as possible. This is one of the main issues with Blizzard on this mission. It does make it it's a very spammy mutator. There is a gift on this side. Unfortunately, it is a little bit too far away and out of the way. I don't know if Zeratul wants to try and capture it. I don't think the players will bother. They just try and push through over here. Zagara is just trying to get some value for her army because her army is very expendable. And now there's also Void Suppression Crystal down, and a Roach Drop, and a Frenzy, and a Zariah Legion, and everything over here now is just going to start getting shredded by the allied forces. But remember that there is a Nihilist. So here, that was the message I was talking about. Amon is stealing the gift. What a jerk. So this is basically inevitable. I think every 3 gifts, as I said earlier. Can't really remember. Check out Starcraft to Coop.com. It'll tell you. And now it is another bunch of Scourge that will be spawning from this gift, and Zeratul is going to be very, very upset by the large number of Scourge that's coming up this way. Down goes one of his War Prisms over here. And yeah, so now it's going to make a something else spawn over here. I think there were a bunch of Overlords that were made from Zagara. Zagara has already pre-built 9 Overlords in the once they saw the Scourge over here, because they know that this is going to be a bit of a problem. The Scourge unfortunately has nothing else to kill. Okay, there we go. So Zagara just charges into the army over here. Wants to keep it off her main production liner as well. You don't really want to end up losing a lot of these resources to the Scourge over here, and you don't really want to end up sitting at 20 supply when you are near the end of the mission over here. This truck will end up going down to the hybrid that has spawned on this side, and now there is another harass wave for these gifts. This Archangel now will start taking a lot of damage. You can see the damage output here. Just because of the Nihilist, it does make it very, very difficult. But for the most part, Zeratul has ended up clearing out the side. The Zagara's army is sitting and waiting to pounce onto this next enemy base once everything else has been cleared. Just building up some of the extra resources here, and now the 2 trucks are ready to go. And it's much better to not create a small trickle of units over here, since I was fighting the Blizzard, decides to pull back a little bit, clearing out the side. And now there is another Scourge coming up over here, and the Scourge will end up trying to again harass this side, but Zagara is now in position to deal with the Scourge that will be spawning. Zeratul moves back. He knows that there is an issue over here, and now there's a Scourge here, and Zagara just charges her Scourge in. Her Scourge are much better than Amon's Scourge, by the way, because she has this extra splash damage and damage output from the units here, so that makes it a little bit easier to deal with, and that Scourge has basically been taken care of. There is nothing really much left on this side. There is one more gift over here, and it's really a coin flip as to what you choose to do. You can try and camp this gift to make sure, I'm talking about the fact that the game is almost done, right? You can choose to camp this gift to prevent Amon from getting it, which is something that I would highly recommend you do, because the worst thing that can happen right now is that Amon camps this gift. So this is why I've done that over here. Amon could cap this gift, and he could get a Propagator, and the Propagator could spawn over here and just eat up your entire army, and then it's game over. There is nothing you can do. So this is why I would highly recommend you try and stall, and even though it is the end of the mission and you think, yeah, you know what, I got this mission, it's game over, we win. If Amon caps a gift and you get something that is something like a Propagator, you'll just instantly lose the game if you're not paying attention, because a Propagator can spawn from any enemy structure. So I'd always recommend that you try and camp the gift as quickly as possible. So in this case, it was just stalled by Zeratul, but that is basically it. That is the end of the mission. And that is the gift exchange. That is Christmas New Year done. That is GG.